Hey, it's Friday, it's snowing, and it's October 30th. And just like, wow, here we are in New England. Father Taylor here with a couple of announcements and some alerts and things for you to be aware of on this Friday's eBlast. First of all, the COVID virus. This was a particularly difficult week for the COVID virus here in our state. Numbers have gone up, and it's not the direction we want to be going in. Right now, we are still going to meet on Sunday as scheduled. But again, as I told you before, when we start to see the cases are rising in the Farmington Valley, particularly Simsbury, Granby, our area around here, we will reconsider how we meet in person. So we're really hoping that this trend can be reversed. As it is, we do have our 15 folks who are coming. I believe that's already booked up. The people had called in by Thursday, so some people are still, getting ready to go to meet indoors. Remember, you're going to wear a mask. You're going to stay socially distanced, and please be easy on us because we're still figuring out all the intricacies of how to do a service that's both on Zoom and live. You say, what kind of intricacies? If you turn up the sound monitors so the people in the building can hear everything clearly, that sound filters back through the microphones through the same, creates a loop, which creates tremendous feedback, which you hear on Zoom and you hear it in the building. So how do we do that? So anyway, so we're doing our best. So be easy on us. We're going to feel our way into in-person worship as we go. Second thing is this weekend will be the first time since March that we've been able to have our healing prayer during the service on Sunday. If you're new to our church, this church has a long tradition that established maybe 35, coming up on 40 years ago, of people who feel both gifted and called, train and spend a lot of time with the Lord and for issues of discernment, and will pray with you for things you need, particularly for physical, emotional, spiritual healing. But because of COVID, we used to do that during the service, during communion, and but we found a way to do that. It'll be by phone. So this Sunday, it's one of the great parts will be that a person who will be speaking God's word to us will be Jim Wheeler, who's the former pastor for over 30 years of the Congregational Church in Collinsville. And he has been involved in healing ministry for all that time. So about the same time that Trinity was going that direction, so was he. And so here, it's great to have him come talk about healing. What we really hope happens is you're going to show up, or you can alert some friends to show up for that very reason, for receiving prayer for healing. And I'm thinking about just like the feelings that you get from just having dealt with COVID, people who are really sick or struggling, all kinds of things. When we hear God's word speak to us, it builds up a sense of expectation and faith. We reach out to God in prayer. God meets us in that prayer and our faith, and that's the healing occurs. So that's very exciting. So he'll be doing that at the 7:45 service. He'll be preaching, and then we'll have an area arranged where he can distance pray for people who need prayer at 7:45. And then at 9:45, it'll be a little different. We'll have our prayer team will be manning 3 different phones. We have 3 lines at the church. So after his sermon is over, you can simply call the church number, call our church phone number. And when you call, one of those lines will light up, and you be patient and wait, because there'll be more people than we have praying, but we'll be able to start a queue of people waiting in line to get prayed for. Even if the phone's busy, you can't get through, just be patient. We have 3 people, only 3 lines. So if 25 of you want to hear prayer, we're all going to have to wait a little bit. So be patient, but don't give up. Don't quit. We're gonna have those lines open all the way through the end of church to make sure that we can hear your prayer requests. It's not just a nice thing of prayer. I believe that God not only hears our prayer, but God, as we see through the life of Jesus, hears our prayer and answers our prayer, particularly in the form of healing. And healing can take physical, spiritual, emotional. So please reach out to the Lord. Make a call this week during the service for prayer. All right. We're also working on our stewardship. We haven't had a lot of like talking about like your giving, but what you've been hearing are the great stories of thanksgiving, particularly for this gift that we have of our community. We give, our stewardship is reflected in our thankfulness for this gift to this community. And so we give not to pay bills, but we give abundantly to give out of thanks to God. And that money does pay bills and does allow us to do our ministry and keeps our community going. So the day that we will turn in our pledge cards will be on November 15th, that weekend. You'll be hearing some more of that. But we got a great story coming up this week that I don't want you to miss. So please tune in to hear that. Final thing for today is I want everyone to kind of hear this and to say, Lord, how can I be of help? A newer family who came to us just prior to the COVID outbreak, the Parkers, so it's Rob and Aaron and two kids, Nathan and Reagan. You've seen them on the Red Box a couple times this summer. You'll remember the kids came down the sliding board to the theme of Mission Impossible, and they climbed across a little rope bridge, and then they brought out their gifts, but the Red Box item, which turned out to be butterflies that had hatched, and they released them. So if you remember those, the beautiful backyard they had, brand new house, that house caught on fire and was a total loss this past week. Family lost their whole house, everything inside. Was gracious that they saved. They just gotten 9 chickens, I think, and so the chickens were safe. The 2 dogs were safe. The kids were safe. And God bless them. Their family, a family from up in Maine, heard about, Aaron called up, said, our house is on fire. They brought the mom and dad and a brother. Everybody brought a vehicle and drove down to help them pick up what valuables that could be salvaged and take them back to Maine to help them just kind of get a place to start and get ready to start over. So what can we do to help? I know that right now there's going to be a period of time where they're just trying to get their feet on the ground and get a plan. But soon they're going to have to rent a house. And then they're going to have to fill up the house. And they have to buy cars. And they have to buy everything. Everything have to start completely over again. So think about that. What could you do? What could we do to be able to help them in the short term? So if you have an idea, even if you hear this today, you get this idea and you got, man, I got an idea. Go ahead, call me. Send me an email. But let's be praying for the Parkers and their kids and the whole family, and asking the Lord how to lead us. All right, I think that's all I got for today. Be safe out there in the snow, and if you're a person like me, just remember, in another part of the country right now, it's 78 degrees and there's a slight wind coming off the ocean. And one day when Jesus returns, we'll all be there. Okay, so much for New England for me. Anyway, God bless you, and I'll talk to you on Sunday.